EA released our final set of players for the Team of the Year event in NHL 24, getting our 6 women Team of the Year winners. And in this video, we are going to do a ranking list and what I'd recommend in terms of value, as well as in-game performance for anyone that is interested in creating any of the Women Team of the Year cards. So that being said, let's hop into it. So to catch everyone up, our Team of the Year winners this year included Hillary Knight, Taylor Heise, Sarah Fillier, Carolyn Harvey, Jenny Hiirikoski, and Aerin Frankel. Now, one of the issues that does remain every year in Hockey Ultimate Team, especially if you are in the Division 2 and above range, is that the way that the game plays, it's very difficult to use cards that are smaller in stature. However, there are some potentially strong Team of the Year cards that you would be able to use, so let's break those down. So let's start first with the cards that I would only make if I was a fan of the player or international team, and we'll start off with Team Canada's Sarah Fillier. This is an issue that EA is going to have to figure out how to deal with in the coming years in terms of gameplay, but smaller statured players, as we get further and further in the year, not just the women but the men as well, it becomes very difficult to use them, especially if you are an online player that plays in anywhere that ranges from Division 3 and above. And the reason for that is because once you go up against players that start cycling the puck, or you want to cycle the puck yourself and set up some certain plays, they just get knocked off the puck very easily. Until EA figures out a way to deal with that, which they did a little bit with the reverse checking in NHL 24, they still have a long way to go. However, more importantly this year is I think the content team did these cards a little dirty. There was a way to make them a little bit more unique and fun, and I think they missed a little bit, so I'll touch on that. Sarah Fillier is 5'5", 130, so obviously one of the smaller cards in the game. She does get sniper forward, which helps out her shot a little bit. The middle synergy, obviously you're probably going to want to go speed boost or acceleration boost to match her speed at 94. And the third one, we've got checking boost, playmaking boost, and shooting boost, and this is really the same for almost every card. Here is my issue, and this is what we dealt with in NHL 23 when the women cards were first put into the game. The shot powers were really hammered on their base card, and what we saw as the game started to get a little bit further along is that impacted shooting far more than accuracy, especially for the defenseman. But at this stage of the game, 84 shot power is going to have an awful hard time beating any goalie that's statted in and around the 90s. And yes, stats on goaltenders do matter. So being able to pick a corner upstairs, 99 accuracy is great to pinpoint that shot, but if it takes forever to get there, unfortunately the goaltender is going to stop it more than he isn't. Now, she does have good body checking at 92, defensive awareness at 93, stick checking 92, and face-offs 93. However, in my opinion, I think what they should have done is for at least a few of the women cards, lean into the extremely fast or very agile, make their hand stats max, nerf body checking, because in the end, unfortunately, because of the way that EA's game is played, even with 92 body checking, and even if she had truculence at 5'5", 130, she just simply really won't knock over people, especially if any of the bigger meta forwards that are in the game. Now, speed and everything like that, in terms of the contact, is going to dictate that, but still. She does have unstoppable force, which does help out quite a bit. Again, trying to hold on to the puck, make it snappy, wheels, elite edges, backhand beauty, and puck on a string. Again, I actually like puck on a string and backhand beauty simply for the cost and what it actually does. It allows you to be really snappy going forehand, backhand, and that's an effective way to score and get around opponents in this game. Silver elite edges is a great ability as well. Wheels, again, I think is only impactful on someone that's got max speed. So again, I think the abilities might be okay, but the shot power in this instance, I just would have liked to see a different build. Next, in terms of cards, again, that I only make if you were a fan of the player, would be the 92 Carolyn Harvey, 5'8", 161, and does have Enforcer Defenseman, which again, because of the 3 to each synergy, she can activate it by herself, getting her speed up to 94. The middle slot, you can go speed boost as well to get it to 96, and that final slot you can go shooting boost or checking boost. And again, like Sarah Fillier, it's even more impactful on a defenseman. 84 shot power is just brutal at this stage of the game, and it is very noticeable. Like, you are going to have a heck of a time trying to actually score or get anything of substance on the net, which hurts her card quite a bit. She has gold elite edges, which does have usefulness as a defenseman. We've seen it on Cale Makar because it's activated even without the puck. You're able to go left and right very fast, keep up with your opponent. And she does have silver 1T and heat seeker to help with that low shot power, but that increases power and accuracy on her shots. It doesn't max it out. Silver shutdown is very important, especially on someone that's a little bit smaller on the back end, so that does help quite a bit. Jenny Hiirikoski's card is actually half decent, other than obviously the size at 5'5", 137. Again, has that Enforcer Defenseman as well as speed boost combo, meaning that she can get up to 97 speed, and you can throw checking boost to get her even higher up into the mid-90s. On top of that, her power and accuracy on her slap shot and wrist shot got her both in the 90s, which is much more usable, and she has gold shutdown, which is the best zone ability in the game for defensemen, in my opinion. Born Leader is activated on hits. Seeing Eye is definitely going to be useful on these cards if you are going to throw pucks on from the point, and Thunderclap does make it interesting as well, because it can activate from much further in than years past. She's got good defensive awareness as well. Like I said, the only issue is going to be in your own zone when you are, dealing with pressure or anything like that, because it's not even just the hitting, it's unfortunately the reach as well. There's a reason why the cards that are 6'6" and above that have stick 'em up, because their reach is just so long, they have such an advantage in that aspect. But all in all, again, Jenny Hiirikoski's card, it's not that bad. Next, we've got Taylor Heise, and again, this card is done really dirty by the shot power, unfortunately. 5'10", 160, so decent size, definitely usable, and can go sniper forward as well as shooting boost in the end to raise her shot just a little bit. However, it's still not enough, in my opinion, for the cost involved. Her middle synergy does give her speed boost, but that's all the skating increases she has, meaning that she's at 93 speed, 93 acceleration, and 95 agility. The women cards that were useful last year, and there were a few of them, the reason why is because they had end game skating very early on. I think I would have leaned into that rather than trying to jack up body checking and some of the other attributes like that, and giving them a lot faster skating to make their play styles a little bit different. She's got elite edges, puck on a string, wheels, make it snappy, and bounce back, which again, I don't know how useful it is because she's got 93 durability and injuries don't really happen as often in Hockey Ultimate Team. Gold Unstoppable Force is definitely going to be useful on her, but again, in the end, even with maxed out hand stats, it's that shot power that I can't stop coming back from. However, she does have 96 faceoffs, so there's always going to be usefulness there because she can win draws against pretty much everybody. Then we've got Aerin Frankel, and I actually think that there's some value here. Again, much like Linus Ullmark, I would never really want to invest in a goaltender for Team of the Year just because of the cost, and I'll be honest with you, in game, if you play online, it's going to be very difficult to win games with her card just because it's 5-5. And the way that EA NHL's game works is that if you are under 6'2", you have a hard time stopping anyone online when it comes to shooting upstairs and things like that. When it comes to abilities, she has all of the abilities that you would expect. It's simply just the synergy boost. So if you were to have, let's say, Linus Ullmark and Aerin Frankel, if you are hut rich, let's say, again, just like Ullmark, one of the best, if not the best backup in the game. You can activate pretty much every synergy that there is available. One caveat that I would have liked to see is giving her Enforcer forward, because obviously with the Matthew Tkachuk release, that is one of those synergies that is kind of being sought after right now because it is such a big bonus to that card specifically, and there isn't really any +3 to that in terms of the goaltending spot. Ullmark doesn't have it. So again, I do think that there is some value here, only if you're hut rich. And then lastly, we've got Hilary Knight. And in all honesty, I've used Hilary Knight's card for the first month of the season in my Not a Dollar series, and she was a great card. 5'11", 172, which is more than fine in terms of size. And she has Enforcer forward, which was a good play. So giving her Enforcer forward, if you have Matthew Tkachuk, you activate that synergy by itself and get the +2 to speed boost. She also has speed boost, which you can add, which would get her speed up to 96. Or you can go to acceleration and kind of max it out there. Shooting boost, checking boost, and playmaking boost, either option is fine. And she's got a very good shot at 95 accuracy and power for the slap shot, 93 for the wrist shot. Gold wheels, silver born leader, 1T, elite edges, make it snappy, and unstoppable force. So the same situation here when it comes to some of the other female cards. I wish we would have seen a different ability combo or attribute allocation to make her card a little bit more interesting. Wheels is one of the best abilities in the game, but all of the best cards that have 99 speed or very close to it have that ability. It's not worth it on a forward or any player that doesn't have 97 to 99 speed because of the cost. On top of that, she is still 172, so having gold unstoppable force like her X factor was very useful, and it really made her viable. So in all honesty, I would have liked to see these switch or give her something like Schneip or close quarters to try and help out with shooting a little bit. She only has 84 faceoffs as a winger, so she is a pure winger card, but she is still definitely the most interesting forward or Team of the Year option from the women's release, and it's easily the most asked about question I get. Now, the Team of the Year release for the women's cards costs exactly the same as the men's, and as we've just gone through the last week, we know how expensive that can be. The collectibles are still going for about 20 to 22,000 per collectible, meaning that if you are wanting to make Taylor Heise or any of the options that don't have an X factor, you're looking at about 880,000 coins in value, especially after the men's Team of the Year event. Not many people have that unless you're extremely hut rich. However, let's talk about a few scenarios, and the first one would be if you have Hilary Knight's X factor card. Now, if you do have her X factor card already maxed out, then you can do this upgrade very cheap in my opinion. If you were to go over to the objectives and you take a look at week 2, they've given a massive discount in terms of Team of the Year collectibles available. You could acquire 15 Team of the Year collectibles by completing these. And this is just with Hutverse cards. You can get this done in, about 10 to 20 squad battle games done on rookie. And again, if you have Hutverse cards from week 1, you already have so many that you can use. Again, 83 overall will work as well. And anyone from week 2. It doesn't have to be week 2 Hutverse cards. Week 1 ones will work as well. So now you only need 7 Team of the Year collectibles. And even at 22,000 coins per, that's only 150k. Now, something to note here is that if you don't have her X Factor already maxed all the way up with collectibles that you made for free, that you got from objectives throughout the year, whatever it is, it's really not worth the discount or anything like that. You're not receiving a discount. How Team of the Year works with upgrades and the cost is that you are paying for the 99 up front. So for example, getting her X Factor card to 92 and then it costing you 22 more Team of the Year collectibles, it is a 1-for-1 in terms of EA's economy to power up collectibles, meaning that the next 7 increases into her overall will cost you 22 power up collectibles. And you can obviously do that at your own pace. So I just want to make that clear, because anyone that rushes out and, sells off half their team or anything like that, understand that while you won't have the card with the +3 to customize synergies, anything like that, and it will cost you to upgrade going forward, you're paying the cost as you go, as opposed to paying up the 99 cost up front. So again, keep that in mind. In terms of the other option, because of the builds that they've given them, there really isn't some crazy unique cards to go after, because they've roughly got the same abilities as the men cards, and their attribute allocation is just very curious to me. So for the other options available, again, I would only make if you are a fan of the player. Again, I mentioned this in my breakdown video, but I just want to reiterate, it does look like EA has done some new tactic to try and make sure they get as much as they can out of everyone for the next week. This Greater Chance Team of the Year pack week 2 gives you the ability to pull a previously released Team of the Year player, including the men's cards as well. So if you are dead set on trying to get them, this is the only way how, other than going to the auction house and essentially donating well over 1 million coins for everyone. So again, I just wanted to keep that. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I also have a video coming out very shortly that will go over the Hutverse rankings as well. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good one.